more experience. I know they have a new goalie, but I think if their defense can hold up, then the offense can
See, with
score enough
both
for them.
these teams, though, they're both going to be in the playoffs. However, you want the experience of winning on your side, and the Caps have
the experience of narrowly losing.
Yeah,
like
the
every year
Caps
for the
have been, they've been prone to blowing it and not coming in clutch. OV has not been great in the playoffs.
No, he hasn't.
And they have a 21-year-old goalie. You look at all their goalies; their first and second goalie are very, very young guys. And I don't know. Do you trust them in the playoffs? Does it become maybe it's really their Achilles heel, or it could be their strength if they pull like Niemi for the Blackhawks last year and have a great run, or they could totally blow it and let up a lot of goals. I really like the Penguins though, going with, even though you have Ovechkin number 1, you got number 2 and 3 in Crosby and Malkin, right there.
So you're saying that every hockey team at this point needs that trio, or at least that duo. One player who, despite that he is the best and he puts up consistent points numbers.
You don't necessarily need that duo, but it doesn't hurt. The Flyers don't have that many stars. They're my team, but they have such depth in the offensive zone
that they're dangerous
to score, that they're very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can compare to the NBA, whereas LeBron, for the most part, carried the Cavs. One player, I don't think, can carry an NHL team. It doesn't work like that. I think, Malkin and Crosby, at least two superstar players like that, are definitely going to help.
When you can spread in the playoffs, the depth is important. When you can spread the guys out into multiple lines, because they're not going to be playing the whole game, that's very important to your scoring factor, because.
I mean, that was a huge part of the Blackhawks' success this season, was the lower line guys.
Yeah.
That they were had contributions from guys that you wouldn't expect coming in for their big players, and then it's that goalkeeper getting out. I'm sure we'll talk about this more as the season wraps up, because it's like you mentioned, it's getting hot at the right time as well. The Blackhawks surprised a lot of people last year with their success. I think it's tough to say that the Caps are really looking at something here this season. This is a lot of change, a lot of young blood in the team. I think the experience is vital. I think what you're looking at is an excited Caps fan base. I encourage everyone to go out to a game. They're a blast. I mean, even just watching games, they're an impressive team in the conference and are definite contenders to win the President's Cup. But like the Sharks in the Western Conference, they've shown little success in the postseason despite excellent regular season.
Don't underestimate the new stadium that the Pittsburgh has. It's going
to it's a big year for them.
Builds excitement.
It's a big year. And we are now knotted up at 2. That segment goes to Andrew. I agree that you need more than just the one, and this would be a surprise Caps year if it is a Caps year. So 2-2 heading into the showdown, the decisive 5th segment here on Unstoppable. To see who will be unstoppable this week, will Max defend his unstoppable crown? College football is the topic, and Boise State is the team. Do they deserve to be in the national championship game, Andrew?
They absolutely do. When BCS standings come out, they're ranked number 1. It really depends on at the end of the year, if they remain undefeated and you have 2 other undefeated teams, but 2 are from say better conferences. That's the argument you always get with them. It's on Boise State's shoulder to win out the rest of the year,
and it's on Nevada's shoulders to keep winning, so that Boise State's
that's
going to
be their biggest game this year. If they beat Nevada, and you can't argue though that they are not one of the top teams in the nation. I don't want to see them slip to number 3 just because of the conference issue, and then we're having or stay at number 2 and then having a number 1 versus number 3 championship a few years ago. It's not fair to them. And at one point, I think it would be great ratings. It would be a great game to watch, and I'd be very excited.
Yeah, just go back to Boise State, Oklahoma. We saw how that turned out.
The greatest game in college football history.
Boise State has been dominant for years now, and with the teams they play. And I understand you can't always control that. And I have always believe that they deserve a chance, should they be undefeated, to get into the championship game. What else can they do? They defeated their ranked opponents. Granted, Virginia Tech has not been good, but they were 16th or whatever at the time, and they beat Oregon State the other week. I guess their other big challenge, and I think they can go undefeated. If they're undefeated at the end of the season, they should definitely have a shot to make it to the championship. That being said,
the only thing I'm worried about, if at the end of the season, Oregon and Ohio State,
if
are
they
both
are
undefeated?
both undefeated, I don't know that you can put them ahead of them though, because
Oregon's
Ohio
a scoring
State
machine,
winning out
and
the Big
Ohio
Ten.
State plays quality football. So
right, it's going to be tough, but this is why this system I don't think works, because there should be a way for them to at least play
Compete
one of those
with each
teams
other,
to decide
yeah.
which one is the best undefeated team at the end. Because yeah, they might not have had the best regular season competition, but you have to see how they play, you know, these elite teams, and it doesn't have to necessarily be one shot for it.
So here's where you stand. You're saying that you absolutely believe they deserve the chance, but if there are two undefeated teams, then they are the odd team out. Two other undefeated teams, I mean.
I think, unfortunately, that's how the system looks at it, but I think it's wrong.
Okay.
I agree with that too. I guess you'll have to look down at the stats and the magic computers that make the BCS. We'll have to determine. But the numbers they put up, they have a Heisman candidate in the quarterback. I mean, they should be given a chance. It's just when it comes down to, say, 3 teams undefeated, the only chance is, though, because those 2 teams play in better conferences, they're likely not to be undefeated. And that's what I think.
And now we have TCU, which is having an amazing season. You know, how do you rectify all this?
Do we need Boise State to play one more ranked team? Like, as in, does their season rest on Nevada continuing to play as well as they are and being ranked when Boise State faces them? That way, they have that one more.
It absolutely does. Even if they're not ranked and they're just out of the top 25, if they do lose to them, there's no chance they're getting into the
right, but I mean,
if they don't lose. But I don't think it matters what Nevada is ranked, to be honest, because they're playing the same kind of schedule as Boise State. So
yeah, but the fact that they were ranked though says something about
as I say, doesn't that make the conference actually a little stronger because there's one?
Yeah, there's only one Big East team that's ranked now, and you know they're a BCS conference. So the ratings don't necessarily mean indicative of the team. You know, Boise State is.
But wouldn't that make them more impressive to the portions of the BCS which are not big magic computer?
Well, definitely. But I think that they should be up there with the rest of the elite teams. They've been this way for so long. They just don't have the chance to get into the championship game. Yeah. It's not fair.
And they don't have a chance because of their own conference's weakness. It's just it boggles your mind that the team for doing so well in the conference, being ranked every year, is being pulled down by the fact of where they play.
And does their style of football affect this decision? Their fun-loving, freewheeling style of football?
Not at all. I don't care that they have a blue field. I mean, they play and they win. That's all.
So it's all haters on the blue field. That's why they don't like it.
They play and they win. And I think that quote says a lot of it right there. I do think you. I think Nevada, the importance of that Nevada game, that Nevada ranking, can't be overestimated in that it's incredibly important. I think that at this point they need them to keep winning, and if they lose that game, they're of course done and out of the national championship game talk. But that game is the big game, and it doesn't just depend on what Boise State does the rest of the season because the WAC is so awful. It's what Nevada does the rest of the season. They need Nevada to be ranked,
or they need Oregon or Ohio State to lose.
Exactly, and I think
for some upsets.
I think you guys both hit that correctly, but at the same time, I think Andrew makes a better point of emphasizing the Nevada the Nevada game importance. It's the second to last game of the season. It's incredibly important. That's where it's going to fall for Boise State. That gives Andrew Hanks the 3-2 victory here on Unstoppable.
I would have said Nevada anyway.
He would have said Nevada, and it would have killed me to start with.
Did I say it right?
No, you missed it once, but he had Oregon like 4 times in there. So Unstoppable this week is Andrew. Congratulations on your first win over Max, and it's now 1-1 between the heads up battle. Now to rapid fire to wrap up this edition of Unstoppable here on Channel 61. Little MLS talk. It's the MLS playoff season. Just right before the MLS playoff season is Andy Nahar of DC United, the MLS Rookie of the Year.
I believe he is. It's going back to the fact of how valuable he is to his team. The other candidate right now is Mwanga for the Phil Union.
The Union. Yep.
But even though the Union are new this year, he has a little bit more around with Latu and other teammates. Nahar has nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And so he's been the best player on DC United this season.
Yeah, why not? That sounds like a good answer.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell you another rookie in the MLS.
There you go. On to maybe something you can help us with, Max. The best your favorite or the best baseball movie.
I love Field of Dreams. It's just an amazing movie. It's heartwarming.
I thought you were sarcastic there for a second. I thought you were giving.